Have you ever wondered why people come back after they've hurt you? Is it because they truly want to fix things? Or is it simply out of regret and fear of losing what they had? In relationships, a return isn't always about love. It can be driven by deeper, often unspoken reasons. Stoic philosophy can help you understand the motivations behind these actions and how to respond with clarity and calm. Let's dive into why they come back and how you can react effectively, maintaining your boundaries and inner peace. Let's begin. 1. Guilt. Have you ever noticed that people often come back into your life after they've hurt you, and it's not always because they want to make things right? Sometimes it's because they're carrying guilt. Guilt is a powerful emotion, but it's not always about caring for you. It's more about them realizing the weight of their actions and how it affects their own peace. The Stoics taught us that guilt can be a signal to reflect on one's actions, but it should never be the reason for a relationship to continue if it's not built on genuine change and mutual respect. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." When someone comes back to you out of guilt, they are often struggling with the impact their actions have had on their own conscience. But just because they feel bad doesn't mean you should automatically welcome them back into your life. It's important to ask yourself, are they truly remorseful for their actions, or are they simply seeking relief from the weight of their guilt? Guilt can drive people to seek redemption, but Stoicism teaches us that forgiveness should never be confused with allowing someone to stay in your life if their behavior continues to undermine your peace. True change comes from within and requires more than just a feeling of guilt. It requires tangible action, accountability, and respect. By recognizing the role of guilt in these situations, you can maintain your boundaries and choose whether or not someone deserves a second chance based on their actions, not just their feelings of guilt. When you understand the difference between someone coming back out of guilt versus genuine growth, you gain the power to protect your own peace and well-being. Don't allow guilt to cloud your judgment. Make sure any decision is rooted in what will keep you true to your values and your inner strength. 2. Fear of loss. Have you ever felt that someone came back into your life, not because they truly wanted to make things right, but because they were afraid of losing you? The fear of loss can drive people to return to relationships they may have once taken for granted. Stoic philosophy teaches us that attachment to others, while natural, can be dangerous when it becomes the foundation of our emotional stability. When people come back out of fear rather than genuine care, it's important to pause and reflect on their true motives. Marcus Aurelius often reminded us that attachment to external things, whether people, status, or possessions, can lead to emotional turmoil. Instead of focusing on what they fear losing, ask yourself, is this person coming back because they genuinely respect me and want to rebuild our relationship? Or is it simply because they can't handle the void I've left in their life? The Stoic approach encourages us to focus on inner strength and not allow someone else's fear to dictate our decisions or our peace. The fear of loss is often rooted in self-interest. It's about what the other person stands to lose, not necessarily about how they've hurt you in the past. If their return is based on their own discomfort with the loss, then it may not be a true reflection of their respect or commitment to change. Real love and mutual respect are built on more than just the fear of being alone. They are founded on authentic connection and growth. When faced with this fear-driven return, Stoicism teaches us to step back and view the situation with clarity. You have the power to decide whether this return is truly beneficial for you or simply a result of someone else's insecurities. By not letting their fear of loss control your emotions, you protect your own peace and ensure that you only welcome people back into your life who have earned their place through genuine change and respect. 3. Need for control. It's one thing for someone to come back into your life out of genuine love or regret, but it's another when they come back because they need to control the situation. Control can be a subtle form of manipulation. People might return because they feel they've lost power, and the easiest way to regain that power is to re-enter your life and reset the dynamics. Stoic philosophy teaches us that control over our emotions and decisions is what leads to true freedom, and no relationship should ever be about exerting control over another person. Seneca famously said, No man is free who is not master of himself. When someone comes back not out of love, but out of a desire to reassert control, it's a clear sign that their intentions are more about them than about you. They may have realized that losing you meant losing a sense of comfort, but comfort doesn't equate to genuine connection. The Stoics teach us that true peace comes from being in control of ourselves, not from trying to control others or the situation. Think about it. If someone left because they felt they could do better or wanted more freedom, and now they're coming back because they're missing the comfort you provided, it's likely they're trying to regain what they lost. Not because they've changed, but because they've realized what they've given up. This isn't about love. This is about power dynamics. The Stoic response here is simple. If someone comes back because they need to control you or the situation, it's time to reassess. Do they respect you as an equal, or are they just trying to get back into your life to serve their own needs? Your peace and sense of autonomy are far more valuable than someone else's need to feel in control. Remember, true relationships are built on mutual respect, not on power games. By maintaining strong boundaries and protecting your freedom, you preserve your emotional health and dignity. 4. Seeking validation. Have you ever noticed how people sometimes come back into your life not because they want to rebuild what was broken, but because they need validation? It's not about fixing things. It's about feeling better about themselves. In relationships, validation can often be mistaken for love, but in reality, it's more about someone else's need for affirmation. The Stoics teach us that true self-worth comes from within and that we shouldn't depend on others for approval. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This rings true when it comes to seeking validation. If someone is returning to you for their own emotional boost, to be reassured that they're still valued or important, it's not really about you. They're trying to fill a void within themselves, using you as the source of that validation. The Stoic approach here is to understand that your value isn't tied to anyone else's perception of you. Think about it. When someone comes back to seek validation, their intention isn't to fix the relationship or show genuine remorse. Instead, they're reaching out to make themselves feel better about their actions, their choices, or their life. They might say the right things, but deep down, it's about them, not about rebuilding trust or genuinely caring about your well-being. The Stoic response is clear. Don't feed into that cycle. Understand that validation must come from within. It's not your job to fix someone else's insecurity. Self-respect and inner peace come from knowing who you are, without needing external validation. When someone comes back seeking validation, take a step back and reflect. Is this really about love, or is it just a need to be reassured? By recognizing this, you can protect your own peace and ensure that any decision you make aligns with your values and well-being. 5. Selfishness in emotions. Have you ever noticed how some people return to your life not because they genuinely care for you, but because they need to soothe their own emotional discomfort? Their return isn't about mending the relationship or healing the wounds they've caused. It's about selfishness in emotions, the need to relieve their own guilt, sadness, or loneliness. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true emotional strength comes from within, not from relying on others to ease our discomfort or provide reassurance. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When someone returns to you seeking comfort, they are likely running away from their own feelings of guilt or regret, and they look to you as a way to feel better about themselves. This behavior isn't about you or the relationship. It's about their own inner turmoil. The Stoic mindset reminds us that we should not allow others to use us as an emotional band-aid for their unresolved issues. Think about it. When someone comes back seeking forgiveness or reassurance, ask yourself if their intentions are truly for the betterment of the relationship or just a way for them to feel emotionally calm. Are they truly remorseful for what they've done, or are they just looking for relief from the emotional discomfort of their actions? The Stoic response is clear. Protect your emotional well-being. Don't let someone use your forgiveness or presence as a way to ease their guilt or dissatisfaction. True healing comes from both sides, from genuine remorse and a desire to rebuild the relationship, not from selfish emotional needs. You have the right to protect your peace, And it's essential to ensure that any decision you make reflects a healthy balance between compassion and self-respect. 6. Lack of accountability. One of the most frustrating betrayals in any relationship is when someone refuses to take responsibility for their actions. It's easy to make mistakes. We all do. But it's something entirely different when someone continuously avoids accountability and never owns up to the harm they've caused. In Stoic philosophy, we are taught that personal responsibility is not just about owning up to our actions, but also about understanding how they affect the people around us. A lack of accountability shows a profound disrespect for others and an inability to grow. Epictetus reminds us that we are responsible for our own actions. What happens around us is often beyond our control, but how we respond to those situations is always our choice. When someone refuses to take responsibility, they rob you of the opportunity for closure and healing. Instead of acknowledging their part, they project the blame onto others or avoid it altogether, and that behavior can become toxic in any relationship. Think about it. When someone repeatedly fails to take responsibility for their mistakes, it undermines the trust and respect that should be at the foundation of any meaningful relationship. Instead of learning and growing, they continue to escape the consequences of their actions. The Stoic approach here isn't about holding grudges or seeking revenge. It's about detaching from their behavior and protecting your own peace. Self-respect means not accepting anything less than accountability. By choosing not to tolerate a lack of accountability, you're showing respect for yourself and your boundaries. It's about recognizing that healthy relationships are built on mutual responsibility, and when someone fails to show that, you have every right to protect your emotional well-being. The Stoic lesson is clear. Focus on your own actions and ensure that your relationships are grounded in honesty, integrity, and mutual respect. 7. No real change. Have you ever had someone come back into your life with grand promises of change, only to find that their actions don't match their words? This is a classic case of no real change. They may say they've learned from their mistakes, but their behavior remains the same. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true growth is not just about saying the right things, but about consistent, meaningful action. When someone fails to follow through, it's a sign that they haven't truly changed, and that lack of authentic transformation is a betrayal in itself. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that true character is shown not by what we say, but by what we do consistently. Anyone can apologize or make promises, but the Stoic mindset calls us to look beyond words and pay attention to actions. Words without follow-through are just empty noise. Real change is reflected in consistent behavior, and when someone keeps repeating the same patterns, it's a red flag that they're not genuinely committed to growth. Think about it. When someone says they're going to change, but they continue the same harmful habits or behaviors, it's a sign that self-interest rather than a true desire to improve is at play. They may want the comfort of reconciliation, but they're not willing to put in the work to earn it. In these situations, the Stoic response is simple. Don't settle for words, and don't let empty promises affect your peace. Self-respect means holding people accountable for their actions. It's about recognizing that true growth takes time and commitment. If someone comes back into your life with no real change, it's important to set boundaries and protect your peace. You deserve relationships that are built on genuine transformation, not recycled promises. In the Stoic view, growth is continuous, and anything less than real change isn't worth investing in. In the end, recognizing and confronting betrayal in relationships doesn't just protect us. It's an opportunity to cultivate resilience and inner peace. Stoic philosophy reminds us that self-protection and upholding personal values are crucial in leading a life that isn't swayed by the negative actions of others. Always remember, you deserve to be treated with respect and accountability. If you found this content helpful, be sure to subscribe to the Stoic Beacon so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.